Hello everyone. If you ask a person of any age to name the most popular construction set in the world, they'll almost certainly just say one word: Lego. This is due to the fact that the brand is one of the most recognizable on the planet in terms of marketing. According to some consulting firms, it's even more recognizable than Google, Visa, and Disney. Nevertheless, we are certain that you still don't know many interesting things about this company. Ready to learn more? Then watch the video to the end not to miss a thing. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Let's get it on. Brand name. You probably thought that the name of the Lego brand doesn't carry any meaning at all. Well, this is not entirely true. In fact, Lego is a very peculiar syllabic abbreviation. This is a shorter version of the Danish phrase "leg godt," meaning play well. Oh yeah, and if you're wondering what the Danish language has to do with it, it's simple. The company's headquarters are located in this Scandinavian country, and the creator of Lego, Ole Kirk Christiansen, was also Danish. It's funny that the word Lego also exists in Latin. It's a form of the verb legere, meaning to assemble. It turns out that for the ancient Romans, the name of the Lego brand would roughly translate to "I assemble." Whether this was the intention of one of the creators is unknown, but according to rumors, Christensen learned about the hidden meaning of the name he invented long after he'd already established the company. High art. To think that Lego sets are intended purely for kids' entertainment is very naive. A lot of adults are on a hunt for limited collections of the brand, and some even turn bricks assembly into a fully fledged hobby. But perhaps no one in this business has yet reached such a level of perfection as Nathan Sawaya from New York. This guy is a real sculptor, only instead of clay, he uses Lego pieces, which however doesn't stop him from exhibiting his works in world museums and having international recognition. According to the sculptor, he used to create his works from ordinary materials, and he was quite good at it. But at some point, Nathan got a bit bored. He remembered he loved to play with Lego bricks in childhood, and decided to give himself a challenge. Can he create something decent using only Lego pieces? Surprisingly, the artist nailed it. His works turned out so great that soon his sculptures became a worldwide sensation, and were noticed by the Lego brand themselves. Among the works of the creator, you can find David from the Renaissance period, Venus de Milo, and the giant dinosaurs of the Mesozoic. They say that Nathan has an inventory of 1.5 million colorful Lego bricks in his house. He probably has to walk around the studio in very durable shoes. The head of minifigures. Minifigures have long become one of the recognized symbols of the Lego company. Many people collect them, especially when it comes to some popular characters. If you've ever held one of these in your hands, you must have paid attention to the strange things on their head. Depending on the age of the set, they may differ in shape. Why? We'll explain the reason now. Well, first, Lego figures were not always featured in the company's product range. In 1934, when the brand was founded, it produced wooden construction sets. Only 15 years later, they became plastic, and Lego minifigures became available for sale only in 1978. Back then, their heads featured small buttons on which the brand name was printed. By 1992, Lego decided to redesign the minifigure. The old version posed danger for small children, who tend to put everything into their mouths. The buttons remained, but now there were holes in them. This, experts believe, could save the child from choking. However, the situation in real life proved this didn't often work. So, by 2010, the company returned to the classic design of the buttons, however, leaving them hollow inside. Lego snacks. Lego employees were not always so careful. While the scientists they hired were swallowing figures with holes in their heads for the sake of science, a highly controversial Lego product hit the shelves. We're talking about the chewing bricks the brand launched in collaboration with Kellogg's back in 2007. You could eat them and also attach them to real parts of the set. Has it occurred to the designers how dangerous this idea might be for kids? The parents could get distracted for just a second and the child could already eat a real plastic brick instead of the gummies. It is clear that the parents were not happy about this new product. Moreover, the company started receiving complaints from angry mothers and fathers, so this product didn't stay on the shelves for a long time. Secret Agent set. Lego is famous for its exclusive sets. If you're a fan of some fictional universe, you'll definitely find a set to your liking. There are sets based on the sagas like Harry Potter, Star Wars, Stranger Things, The Avengers, Spider-Man, Jurassic Park, There are just so many of them. But one of the most spectacular sets is dedicated to the most stylish and elusive spy of our time, James Bond. Over the years, LEGO engineers have been working with the owners of the Bond franchise to release many sets and figures, starting with Sean Connery, the very first actor to play the great spy in the movie. Today, designs are getting more and more sophisticated. For example, a couple of years ago, the company released an exclusive mini copy of Aston Martin, Bond's signature car. The model is distinguished by incredible detailing of the interior and equipment, and it is positioned as a commodity for collectors over 16 years old. Because you certainly need the help of your parents to assemble such a car. Ninja Sensei. Of course, LEGO has long ceased to be an ordinary company and has become a real empire. They produce merchandise, publish magazines, and books featuring the minifigures, and also make animated films. One of them came out in 2017 and was called the LEGO Ninjago movie, becoming a continuation of the namesake series aired by the Cartoon Network channel. The plot of this universe is based on the adventures of ninja minifigures, which mastered a unique technique of hand-to-hand combat called spin jitsu. And these are not just fancy words, the movie's a serious deal. The characters have dozens of different types of weapons, armor, and attacking techniques at their disposal. Do you know who was involved in the creation of the movie? The king of action-packed movies, Jackie Chan. The renowned actor actually worked as a consultant with the production crew of the Ninjago movie. He helped the animators to correctly draw the battle scenes, sharing all the secrets of the Eastern martial arts. At first, Jackie Chan found it hard to believe that with the help of clumsy minifigures, the authors would be able to convey all of the nuances of Kung Fu. But the creators of the cartoon tried their best, and it turned out very authentic. Space exploration. Interestingly enough, LEGO sets have always been closely related to space exploration, and it's not only about the Star Wars theme. It's just that children usually love stories about exploring the distant planets and galaxies. Among the company's products, you can find not only a lot of minifigures in spacesuits, but also models of a lunar rover, a rocket, and even the International Space Station. And this love seems to be mutual. Astronauts are also very fond of LEGO sets, but that's not all. In 2011, LEGO minifigures went into space. They settled aboard NASA's automatic interplanetary space probe Juno, which is exploring Jupiter. Instead of astronauts, 3 LEGO figurines representing the Roman god Jupiter, his wife Juno, and Galileo Galilei were on the Juno spacecraft, though they were actually not made of plastic but aluminium in order to withstand the extreme flight conditions. The station is planned to remain in orbit until 2025. LEGO doll. There have been some bad marketing ideas in LEGO history. Apparently, the company thought that not all girls might like plastic figures, and in 1997, LEGO launched a line of dolls called Scala.
Lego Scala.
However, they didn't hold out on the market for a long time. 4 years later, the company discontinued them. Why? Well, isn't it obvious? The toys were too similar to Mattel products, and why buy a copy when there's a good old Barbie? Brilliant ideas. Building a huge LEGO model using a thick instruction manual is a very fun thing to do. It can take the whole family a couple of nights, but what if you don't feel like following the instructions? Also, the company may not offer the set that you were dreaming of. It turns out that LEGO has a way out of this situation. The company's website has a whole section where anyone can leave their request, but it's not just enough to write, "I want a set with a meme from Twitter," of course. In order for your project to be reviewed by the LEGO designers, you need to build it from original parts. Take many detailed photos, write a description, put it up for other LEGO fans to review, and get at least 10,000 signatures in support of your project. And then, quite possibly, the company will actually buy your design and even pay you royalties. It sounds complicated, but you can do it if you try hard enough. Students' invention. Real geniuses don't need much to create incredible things. The story of Shubham Banerjee from California proves this. At the age of 13, he managed to build a real Braille printer from Lego pieces. This is a special device that prints information on paper using tactile bumps as a font for the blind. It is worth noting that Shubham never had vision problems himself. The boy was just curious since childhood. One day he asked himself, "How do blind people read?" After doing a little research on on Google, the prodigy was surprised to find out that printers for blind people cost at least $2,000. This seemed terribly unfair to him, and he decided to use his robotic Lego set to create a prototype of the printer. As you already realized, his efforts were successful. The prototype turned out to be so good that a year later, Intel decided to support the project financially. As a result, Shuban became the youngest inventor in the world to receive such a significant investment, and now his invention will go into mass production. It'll cost only about $350. 3D printer. Another genius from Poland also built his own printer from a similar Lego set. Only in this case, he designed a 3D printer. It looks really impressive. Check out this nice ship they managed to print on it. Who knows? Maybe in a couple of years, it'll be used to 3D print the donor organs. We won't even be surprised. Prosthetic limbs. David Aguilar from Spain was born without a right forearm. Of course, in the modern world, you can live with such a condition. Some prostheses are so advanced that they even work just like a real limb. But the guy decided to go a different way. Like any child, David enjoyed playing with Lego sets. One day he thought, if you could build an airplane or a car from tiny pieces, why can't you build an arm? So, the kid created his first prosthesis from Lego Technic bricks at the age of 9. Back then, the mechanism was quite simple. By the time the child prodigy turned 18, he'd refined his design and even added a motor with gears and real pistons. With the help of such a device, David was able to do push-ups, carry rather heavy things, and even move fancy Lego fingers. Later, this invention was noticed by the Lego brand, which made the guy its ambassador. And thanks to this, David decided to dedicate his life to bioengineering studies. Luxury cars. Models of different cool Lego cars are, of course, great. But have you ever thought that you can build a full-size model rather than just a tiny copy? This has actually already been done. Take, for example, the McLaren Senna, made up of nearly 500,000 Lego parts. It took a team of 30 specialists over 2,700 hours to assemble. For comparison, the assembly of a real car usually takes 300 hours at the factory. The model of the Bugatti Chiron hypercar is made of 1 million Lego pieces and weighs 1.5 tons. It took almost 13,500 hours, that is 562 days, to assemble it. To pick up the Chevrolet Silverado took 2,000 hours and only 300,000 pieces. Nevertheless, it looks no less impressive. Famous landmark. What you see here is one of the most magnificent sculptures ever made from Lego pieces. The company's designers created it in collaboration with the Smithsonian National Museum of American History. The replica of the Statue of Liberty, located on Liberty Island near Manhattan, took almost 300 hours to build. The result is a 1:32 scale model that's over 8.8 feet long and weighs over 123 pounds. By the way, Lego offers a special architectural line with well-known cultural objects, and the main symbol of New York is also among those. Legendary starfighter. Surprisingly enough, the largest Lego model in history is not a Bugatti or Chevrolet car. What do you think would deserve such an honor? Of course, the spaceship from the George Lucas saga, namely the T-65 X-Wing starfighter. Luke Skywalker destroyed the first Death Star piloting this starfighter. The model took over a year to build. This required a team of 32 people and more than 5 million Lego pieces. The result is impressive. The total weight of the model is 44,000 pounds and its length is 65.6 feet. They even installed engines inside, which are powered to the loud music from the opening credits of the saga. Two fans, Dan and Chris Steininger, also built a full-size ship from Star Wars with Lego pieces. This time, it was the Millennium Falcon, because it appears in all the trilogies of the saga. The assembly took place during the Lego show in Malaysia, so visitors were helping father and son build the ship for 3 days straight. In total, about 200,000 parts were used to complete the ship. Tallest tower. 5 years ago, an incredible LEGO record was set in Milan. For 5 days straight, a team of 18,000 volunteers were building a LEGO tower with a total height of 115 feet, and more than 50,000 local people and tourists watched the process. In total, the tower required about 550,000 LEGO pieces, so this achievement made it to the Guinness Book of Records. Though now this record is challenged by another tower built 2 years later in Tel Aviv. The structure was erected in honor of the 8-year-old Omer Sayag, who suffered from cancer and was very fond of LEGO. Model of a country. And finally, look at the incredible way LEGO celebrated its 50th anniversary on the Japanese market. More than 5,000 people teamed up to build an incredibly detailed 3D map of their beloved country, with all the key highlights. This required about 2 million LEGO pieces. We wonder what's next? A whole city made of LEGO? Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action, only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Well, follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.